You are welcome to the today class of SLW 616, if I have not been mistaken. Yes, anyone can unmute and read what I posted on the screen so that I am with you and you are with me and both are sailing the same boat to reach to the destination. Participants, anyone can unmute and read. Okay, doesn't matter. There is a problem, I believe. Yes, Fideli Kitenge, Karibu sana, and unmute your microphone and read what I posted on the screen so that we can sail together. Unmute and read Fidelis Kitange.
Yes, good evening, Prof.
Good evening, read.
Okay. Now, I'm going to read it, Prof. Okay, economic crime covers a wide range of offenses. The different arrangement of organized economic crime on which there is a consensus in terms of definition and the incidents are: the first one is armed robbery, including robbery of cash in transit, crimes committed by public officials such as bribery, embezzlement, trafficking of influences, safety of motor vehicles, serious commercial fraud such as tax evasion and illicit capital havens, then currency counterfeiting, extortion rackets, drug trafficking, smuggling of precious resources, predominantly the following predominantly diamond, gold, timber, and wildlife products.
Yes, thank you very much, Kitange, Fidelis Kitange. When you read like a Simba. Number one, keep your gadget very near to your mouth. Then you have to start reading. Economic crime and punishment that we are seeing, and it is the last but one part of our syllabus, if I not be mistaken. I will show you the syllabus now so that you know that where we are. So SLW syllabus is, this is the thumbnail. I opened thumbnail. Yes, now I'm opening the 616, yeah. And this is 616. Yes. Could you see that which I highlighted in red? Read. Could you see that which I highlighted? Unmute and read. Kitange. Unmute and read. Okay, you are taking more time, wasting the time. It's the 2.5 of the economic of crime and punishment. On the last 2.6 is left out. There is the economics of the legal process. With that, we think that we have successfully completed our syllabus. That's what I want to convey. Now, without wasting the time, I would like to go to the point where I want to say something. Of course, the thing which I made it is the economic offenses or economic crimes are concerned. It is nothing but the armed robbery, including the robbery of the cash in transit and a crime committed by the public officials, such as the bribery, embezzlement, and traffic of influences. Into traffic offenses, also the people try to take the bribery without issuing a receipt. Theft of the motor vehicles, yes, it is also one of the economic crimes. Serious commercial frauds, such as the tax evasion, yes, it is the economic offense. And illicit capital havens, this is also like money laundering. currency counterfeiting, and extortion of the rackets, drug trafficking, and smuggling of the precious resources, and predominantly the diamond, gold, timber, and wildlife products. So these are all things which are comes under the economic crimes. Yes, now let us see the point here is, and which I want to show you, how the punishment would be there for this such an offenses. So mankind has invented a variety of the ingenious punishments to inflict on the convicted offenders: death, torture, branding, fines, imprisonment, banishment, restrictions, armament and the occupation, and loss of citizenship are just more common ones. These are all the punishments. Kitanje, are you hearing me? Say yes.
Yes, Prof. I'm following.
Yes, very good. Either in the United States or anywhere in the world, less serious offenses are punished primarily by fines, supplemented occasionally by the probation, petty restrictions, or incarceration for, say, 1 week or 1 month, like temporary suspension of one's driver's license and imprisonment for the lesser period, because of the gravity of the offense. Lesser offense. The more serious offenses are punished by a combination of the probation, imprisonment, parole, fines, and various other restrictions on choice of occupation. In sometimes, they will impound your passport so that you could not travel outside. A recent survey estimated for an average day in 1965, the old data, number of persons who are either on probation or parole are institutionalized in a jail or a juvenile homes and the president's commissions, that is, the total number of the persons in one of these categories came in about the 1,300,000. It is a old data, we need not worry about it. But what I want to convey is why the punishment would be there. Because if the punishment is not there, then the perpetrator again do the same offense. Am I right?
Yes, Prof.
So punishment should be there depending upon the gravity of the offense. If the gravity of the offense is more, the punishment is more. If the gravity of the offense is less, like stealing the all pin to pin the two papers and stealing the aeroplane, both are stealing, and hence for the aeroplane the gravity is more, punishment is more, and for the all pin gravity is less and hence the punishment is less. I discussed this thing several times in the class. So, for example, here say, what the example which is given here, the cost of an imprisonment is the discounted sum of the earning foregone and the value placed on the restriction in consumption and freedom. People are put in the jails. Do you think that they are given food free of cost? Give me the answer.
It depends in each jurisdiction, Prof. Because what I think is in developed countries, those who are in jail sometimes they get involved into some other economic activities. But to our country, there are some prisons in which criminals they just stay there without getting involved into other economic activities, so that they stay there without having any contributory aspect on the economic activity. So they just spend daily uses without having any means of repaying them back.
It depends upon the nature of the offense which is committed. For instance, socio-economic offenses are concerned, they are highly allied people and business tycoons and the big people. For them, they don't say them to go on Shamba Kulima, because if they want, they can get their own food from their house. And of course, they don't eat the food of the prison. They will make an arrangement to get their own food from the house. And that is the economic social offenses are concerned. But the hardcore criminals are concerned. They are given the food, no doubt, but they are supposed to work in the Shamba Kulima, or if they have any knowledge regarding the small scale industry, like knitting the boxes and weaving the carpets and sewing the shoes like a cobbler, and the machine, if they are learning, they will make the different activities of income generating things. So since the earning foregone and the value placed in a prison restrictions vary from person to person, the cost even in a prison sentence of the given duration is not a unique quantity but is generally greater. For example, to offenders who could earn more outside of the prison, the cost to each offender would be greater than the longer the prison sentence, since both the foregone earnings and foregone consumptions are positively related to the length of the sentence. See, if the length of the sentence is the life imprisonment, and at that instance, such convicts will be definitely will be involved in the income generating projects, because they do have their own livelihood. Plus, if anything would be left over there, in addition to the whatever the expenditure comes, naturally they will be given back to him if the life imprisonment is reduced to because of his good behavior, either on the day of the Nelson Mandela birthday or on the day of the independence of the Tanzania mainland or in Zanzibar. At the good occasions, on the good behavior of the convicts, the president will release it. Am I right?
Yes, Prof.
So punishments affect not only the offenders but also the other members of the society. Aside from the collection of the cost, fines paid by the offenders, here perpetrators, are received as a reverence by others. Most punishments, however, hurt other members as well as the offenders. For example, imprisonment requires expenditure on guards, supervisory personnel, buildings, food, etc. So currently of course he has given the old data, 1 billion is being spent each year in the United States on probation, parole and institutionalized alone, but with the daily cost per case varying the treatment tremendously from the low income group, adults of the probation to the higher income group, for the juveniles in detention institution. When you are running the prison, you need the money. And for the juveniles, you should have a separate jail or the postal schools or rehabilitation centers. For women, there will be a separate cell. They could not be mixed with the male convicts. What about the transgender? Sir, such a case did not come across now, and hence there would not be any such a case where the transgender, a separate cell would be there. Are you following me?
Yes, Prof. But Prof, are you in the same location that you used to be always?
What is that?
There is a problem of network to your
Yeah,
side
I'm the
because I
same
cannot hear
location.
you.
I'm the same location. No problem at all. If you hear my
You're on the
recording,
same location.
yeah, if you hear my recording, it is very clear as crystal. Okay, sometimes frequency
I
may
can
be the
hear,
high
but
and up. At least sometimes the frequency may be the high and up, but it doesn't matter. But the mostly because I
Professor
could
network,
see,
Professor network.
yeah, I could see my microphone. When my microphone is palpitating, that means you are hearing my voice. If the microphone is not palpitating, that means my voice is not reaching you. I can sometimes check it, whether you are hearing me or not. Is it clear? Say yes. Okay. Of course, he
Now
has
it's
made the
okay.
equations. Of course, we need not go for the equations. What is the equation to be there? But generally, we will see that how it will be there. Equation. The total societal cost of the punishment is the cost of the offender plus the cost of the minus to the gain and others. Whatever the cost which is earned over there, and whatever the amount will be spent over there, that is minus, and the rest of the amount will be given to the convicts. Fines produced as a gain to the latter, which equals to the cost of the offenders, aside from the collection of the costs, and to the social cost of the fines is about zero. As benefits of the transfer payment, the social cost of the probation and the imprisonment and other punishments, however, generally exceeds that of the to offenders because other also hurt. Here he made the equation. The equation says the derivation of the optimality condition in the next section is made more convenient for the social cost or retain the terms of the offender cost. How we can make it out? He made an equation. Thus, we need not worry about the equation, but at least we see that what it says. Where F1, F must be, that we will call F1, is the social cost and B is a coefficient, is the integration. Of course, mathematics people know it. Is a coefficient, then the transformation of F into F1 or F apostrophe, the size of the B varies generally between the different kinds of the punishment. What is the punishment and how the fine would be there? So B is equal to identical to 0 for the fines, while B is less than 1 for torture, probation, parole, imprisonment, and the most other punishment. It is especially large for the juveniles detention homes, for adults in prisons, and is rather close to unity for the torture or for the adults on parole. Here the cost effectiveness, efficacy, efficiency of the economic theory is shown over there. See how much the cost is spent on a person who is undergoing the punishment or incarceration in the court, in the jail. How much that he is going to earn it? Because hardcore criminals, they will be given some sort of the work so that they could get their own gain, and with that they do have their own livelihood. Except socio-economic offenses are concerned, where the people are very elite and all the business tycoon or the white collar people, these are all. But the traditional crimes which they did is called blue collar people. Is it clear? Who are the white collar people who are called the?
Clear to some extent, Prof.
Yes, socio-economic offenses, if anybody commits it, they are said to be the white collar people. But other than these people, they are said to be the blue collar people. So that is the distinction they made it to say how it would be. Then I would like to show some other thing also with you, the global phenomena that I would like to show you. So now it is gone. Now let us make a particular thing. I say stop sharing. I say stop sharing. I will make it out. And you could see me also here because I made it open my video. Then I will switch on to this one. Then I will economic crime and punishment approach, and economic crime in
Professor,
Tanzania, how it can be there. Yes, you can see me.
you have a,
Did you see me?
you have a beautiful sitting room.
Asante sana na shukuru sana. Mungu akubariki na kukulinda.
Amina.
So now I will share you again what is that crime rate would be there and how it could be work. Yes. Now I will stop my video because signals drop would be there, and hence, yeah. Now you could see how the Tanzania Here I made it globally. Tanzania versus the world. Regarding what? Economic crimes. So if I don't know whether you could see it or not because I can magnify it. Could you able to see now?
Yes, Prof. I can see it.
Yeah, the whole page is there. See, if you happen to see the Tanzania versus the world, where it stands, globally, of course, the world data, 2018 survey saw an increase in the proportion of the respondents who reported having experienced an economic crime in the last 24 months of the operation. At least half of it, 49% of our global respondents reportedly experienced an economic crime in their area of work compared to the 36% reported the same in 2016. Means in the 2016 is the 36%, in the 2018 is the 49%. That means economic crime is increased. In Tanzania, 47% of our respondents indicated that they had experienced at least one form of economic crime in the last 2 years. The market rise in the incidence of the economic crime is sent to transcend regional blocks, whereas the Africa continues to take the lead in the pervasiveness of the economic crimes in the last 24 months at 62% in 2018, up from the 57% in 2016. And here also it is increased in the Africa. And other regions were also not immune to the brunt of the vices. Yes, because offenses are there. Indeed, in terms of the percentage of the increase in the incidence of the crime, Africa had the lowest increase of 9% when you compare with the other Latin America, are recording the highest increase of the 89% in the 2016. In other words, where developed countries are there and their developed crime rate is there. Am I right? Am I right?
Yes, Professor. Yes, Professor.
But there is a developed scrutiny by the police department is there and they will take the stringent actions on the spot. But still, crime rate never go down. So in Africa and globally, the prevalence of the economic crimes appears to be at its peak as compared to the survey reports for the last 4 years. In our assessment, a number of the factors could have contributed to this phenomena, including, what is the number of the factors? Including the widening wealth inequality between the rich and the poor. What is the observation? There is a lot of widening of a rich man and a poor man in Africa. A richer is richer having 4 cars and 3 or 4 houses and 2 or 3 machumbas. Am I right?
Yeah.
And the poor man, he suffer for the only a square meal in a day. A square meal in a day I am speaking. And one day one girl asked me, of course she is not a girl, a woman, sir, do you have any work to me? Because just I am ideal. Of course my husband is there, but still if I work at least I get 2,000 rupees. See, she said, at least if I get 2,000 rupees, I can at least eat on the day. Or I can give a good food to my children. Only 2,000. So, because they are very much poor, even 2,000 is a big thing to them. So sometimes I said, okay, whenever I get the Tangawizi and Kitungu Somu, najua.
Yeah, kitunguu swaumu, not sum. Swaumu.
Song, okay. Sema Kiingereza?
Pasa.
Being a foreigner, I could speak your language and you don't know the Kiingereza. Tangawizi means ginger.
Garlic.
No, no,
Any
no, no.
Somu garlic.
And Kitungu Somu is,
Garlic, prof.
what is that?
Garlic.
Garlic.
Garlic. Yes.
Yes. So I asked them, okay, you can peel off the garlic and you can scrap the tangavizi, means that ginger skin, and wash it and dry it and kusaga. You mortar it and you make a paste. I will give the 2000 rupees. It's a matter of 1 hour or 2 hour, doesn't matter. Depends upon the caliber. But I paid the 2000 just to clean it and kusaga. Of course, that kusaga means not like a paste, because I have the blender or a mixture in my house. So we can again put it, then we blend it, then it will become a paste. And that paste could be used for marinating the fish fillets, goat meat, or any other, or prawns. Okay, now let us come to my point. That means a widening of the richer and the poor is very much. So that is the root cause of the crime rate will be increased in Tanzania. Not Tanzania, anywhere where the gap is more. What gap? A rich man gap and a poor man gap. Is it clear?
Kwaje huko? Kwaje?
Yes,
Yes,
Miss
Professor.
Ahmed. Are you speaking with me? I'm speaking in your house, Nyombani.
Hey, is it clear?
No, Miss Ahmed is speaking in Nyombani. I could hear the sound. So, a widening of the wealth inequality is there between the rich and the poor, and increased connectivity brought about by the ICT revolution, coupled with the poor understanding of the controls needed in a highly interconnected environment and poor performance of the existing regulations. So, what are the points they made it out globally? Why they are lagging behind African nations, including the Tanzania? Because a richer is the more richer, a poorer is the more poorer day by day. Number one. Another is connectivity brought about their ICT revolution. How many people knows ICT revolution using the modern gadgets? Because for them hand to mouth life is there. They could not afford a smartphone and they could not afford the bundle cost. Is coupled with a poor understanding of the controls needed in a highly interconnected environment. Now the environment is highly interconnected and poor enforcement of the existing regulations. So three reasons they have shown. One is widening the gap. Number two, doesn't have the knowledge of the IT. Number three, and there is a no enforcement machinery for the existing laws or regulations. So that is the reason a poorer and lagging behind them. So of the 10 countries that reported the highest incidence rates of the economic crime globally, we observe that 50% of the African countries, once again bringing the Africa into the focus as a region that is most severely affected by the economic crimes. Because of the poverty, because of the widening gap, because of the no knowledge about the IT, because of there is no proper regulations would be there to control the high-handed people. Of these remaining five, three were the European and countries, and each from Asia and Central America. So they made it who are the poor countries should be there and where they can make it out. So here they have given Africa, Asia Pacific, Eastern Europe, Latin America, Middle East, Northern America, Western Europe. The percentage is given here. So economic crimes, how it can be made it globally, he made it clear. It is now, however, necessarily all doom and gloom. The significant jump in the reported fraud and the high prevalence in our region is not the whole story. In fact, it may be the opposite of the story. What is that? That is because the fraud practitioners know that the real percentage of the economic crime industry victimization is significantly higher than the reported incidents. That means the data which is shown by the official is very much less. And actually, in practice, it is more. And not 49% globally or 59% in Tanzania. So, 59% or 57%, it will be known what the government will allow them to declare it. Is it clear?
Clear,
Yes,
Prof.
Prof.
The high rates may therefore be an indicator of a higher awareness of the fraud as opposed to a higher incidence. It may also be mean that system of the place are able to identify the economic crimes, hence the high level of the incident that may have been interpreted or discovered. The reality is more likely, therefore, there is a statistic. Measures are not actual fraud, but it is given certain data to them. Awareness of the fraud. Evidently, the high prevalence rate in some countries and region is a good measure of just how big a problem economic crimes is seen to be these countries. So, now we can make it out. Whenever you make it a crime and punishment in the economic efficiency is concerned, we'll see that what would be the cost factor would be there for maintaining the culprits, for maintaining the convicts. And the economic theory will help them. If the hardcore criminals would be there, they will be employed. If the socio-economic offenses, business tycoons, and the public officials are there who are said to be the white collar criminals, and they will be have their own treatment. And they don't rely on the expenditure of the jail. They do have their own food. And I don't know how many days that you will sit over there in the prison, because generally people will be bailed if it is not a bailable offense, and they will be put behind the bar, and the treatment is entirely different because they are the white collar people, and hence the treatment is, they don't want that government should spend any money for them. Even they do have their own even bed also, including the AC. And that's why they can make their own arrangement to see that how they can live in such an area. Sometimes these people will be house arrested. The arrest is there, no doubt, but it is said to be the house arrest. He cannot move from their house, and he should enjoy all the facility in the house. So some people know they will make the house arrest, otherwise it's a problem for them to maintain the public order, law and order also. Because such a big man would be behind the bar, and people will revolt it, because there are many people are there, those who are the followers of the business tycoons and big bosses. They do have their own army. I don't say that army means not like a nation, but they have their own people to defend them. So this is another factor where we can make how the economic crime and the approach will go together. So these are the certain aspects of it which I want to share with you. And yes, and this we already shared, economic approach is concerned. Then we'll see if any other things would be there to share with you. The economic crime is concerned, yes, I already made this posting, but I did not, yes. Can you tell me that what is the economic crime? Read what I posted on the screen. Anyone can unmute and read.
Okay, Prof, I'm reading. Economic crime, also known as financial crime, refer to illegal acts committed by an individual or a group of individuals to obtain a financial or professional advantage. The principal motive in such crime is economic gain.
Yes. Actually, what is economic crime? Economic crime, also known as financial crime, because it goes with the HELA. What do you say HELA in Latin terminology?
Hmm?
What do you say money in the Latin terminology?
Oh,
Pecuniary.
pecuniary.
Pecuinary.
Okay, Prof. Thank you.
It is regarding the finance, money is concerned. The pecuniary loss or pecuniary punishment, and these are the things we can use it. Only
Okay,
Professor
Prof.
Hussain students know, those who are Sharabaro. So, financial crimes refer to illegal acts committed by an individuals, and these individuals are not hardcore criminals, nor they are the casual laborers. They are the white collar people, are a group of individuals to obtain a financial or a professional advantage. Both the things. Professional advantage. Because being a professional, if you're having a big hospital, corporate hospital, when they're treating the patients, they try to remove the kidney and sell to the other people. Even the patient doesn't know his kidney is removed. Is it clear?
Clear, Prof.
It's the economic offense. It's a crime. Without the knowledge of any person, how could he remove his kidney? Of course, a man will survive with the one kidney, but a spare engine should be there, like a plane. In the plane, how many engines are there? Give me the answer. In the aeroplane,
I didn't get.
give me the answer as a person.
I didn't get the question, Prof. Sorry, can you repeat?
How many engines are there in the plane?
How many engines are there in the plane?
Yes.
Maybe there is some sort of confusion. I didn't understand exactly which
Engine
plane, Prof.
means how a plane will run. A plane will run because of the engine and because of the propellers move it. If one
Okay.
engine fails, the second engine will start.
Okay. So
And there
you
are
mean
two engines are there in the plane. And two pilots
okay.
are there in the plane. In the same manner, even a ship also, there are spare engines are there, which will run when the main engine fails. The big ships, cargo ships.